So good morning, everybody. So today we're going to talk about protein and especially plant proteins. So again, I'm going to just read a little bit from my notes. This is from my blog on my website, VeRAWonica, VeRAWonica. If you look under blog, I sort of talk about what is protein and, where do these large animals get their protein from to become so large. So protein is actually made from amino acids, and all plants have all 20 amino acids. We typically don't think about eating, amino acids, but rather think about eating protein, right? Because we've been really programmed for that. The most common plant sources of protein come from nuts, seeds, grains, beans, and from raw plant-based food sources, sea vegetables, spirulina, blue-green algae, sprouts, and nutritional yeast. I'm going to break down the proteins, plant proteins, especially raw plant-based proteins, so that you can hopefully incorporate that into your food style. So amino acids, what are they? They are organic compounds or molecules that come together and they combine to form proteins inside your body. So these amino acids are the building blocks of proteins, which is, obviously an important component in every cell of your body and therefore, gives you life. So that's why amino acids are the building blocks for your life. There are 20 amino acids and they're broken into essential amino acids and non-essential amino acids. Maybe these words are now starting to, you remember hearing these kinds of words. So 9 essential amino acids is what our body needs daily, and it cannot make on its own. It needs this from foods. So these are basically the foods that I'm going to go through are these 9, essential amino acids so that we can formulate protein in our body and feed ourselves and continue a healthy life. So in order for your body to actually use the protein, it must first be broken down into, these amino acids by your digestive system with the use of enzymes. We talked about enzymes yesterday, stomach enzymes, which are proteins. And then they're used by our body cells to reassemble new proteins. So as a realtor, the best analogy that I could put together is it's sort of like a home builder tearing down the home brick by brick and then using those bricks to build a new home. It's not far off from the amino acids because they are the building blocks of proteins and the building blocks of life. So how much protein do you need? Well, there's different calculations that you can do to formulate. There's many that you can find online. I don't really want to get into that because each calculation that I've looked at is a little bit different. So today, what I really wanted to go through are for those of you that are, thinking of or have made a commitment to incorporate more raw plant-based foods into your food style. I want to talk about what foods you can actually use in lieu of the typical animal protein foods. So the complete proteins contain 9 of the essential amino acids. So when I talk about a complete protein, it means that all of those 9 essential amino acids are in that food, and that's what our body needs on a daily basis. And one of the things is all raw plant-based foods have amino acids. In fact, all foods have amino acids to some degree. So the top one that I love is sea vegetables. And you can see on my screen at the bottom, the green sea vegetables coming up. And then you can see my green drink and you can see the pyramid that looks like, what is that? That's actually powdered sea vegetables. So you can see how it goes from the sea to powder to your green drink. So that's the flow of what I do with my sea vegetables. So what are sea vegetables? I'm sure you've heard of the word spirulina. So that's a blue-green algae, and it is a complete protein. So that means it has all of the 9 essential, proteins, amino acids that we need. It's very, very high in antioxidants, which is really fantastic. And would you believe that just 1 tablespoon equals 4 grams of protein? I mean, that's a lot. 1 tablespoon of spirulina. So this is one of the supplements that I put into my green drink, along with my leafy green vegetables and my high antioxidant berries, which are the dark berries. I add spirulina and some other sea vegetables in order to get my amino acids or proteins. So that's a really, really quick way to do it and to add it into your green drink. Now, the second one that I like very, very much is quinoa. And that is a sort of a crunchy seed. In fact, the quinoa is in the bowl. Oops, wrong way. Over here, I can't do it when I have the screensaver. So it's in the top round gray bowl. That's quinoa, just to point out where these things are on my screen. And it has like a crunchy texture and a nutty flavor. And if you get organic sprouted quinoa, you can just put it in a dish of filtered water. I always use spring water, and it will actually open up. The reason people boil quinoa is because they're impatient and they just want to, accelerate that sprouting process. Again, when you add heat to anything, you are taking away from the nutritional value. So if you want quinoa, let's say tomorrow, then put it in a dish with water, and the next day it'll be sprouted, it'll be crunchy, it'll be really great. You can put that on your salads. You can put it on all kinds of dishes. So that's another complete protein, which means you have the 9 essential amino acids. And 1 cup of quinoa equals 8 grams of protein. So you can even use this in lieu of rice, if you're a rice eater or any kind of, like side dish. It's also gluten-free, which is really great for your digestive system. So another product or another plant-based food that I love is buckwheat. And that is actually behind the chia seed. You can see that they're almost like a triangle shape. They are fantastic. You can grind them into flour and you can make all kinds of things with buckwheat. I make buckwheat cereal. I just soak my buckwheat for about an hour or so. Make it nice and soft. I add my raw nut milk, and I've got a beautiful cereal. You put some berries on that. It's great. You can add it to your salad. 1 cup of buckwheat equals 6 grams of protein, and it is full of minerals as well. So it's really a great flavor. So you would love that. The next one is hemp seeds, and they are at the top of my screen. You can see like a wooden spoon. That's actually the hemp part, the white part of the hemp seed. The inside is actually called the hemp heart. And that, again, complete protein. It's rich in essential fatty acids, and 3 tablespoons of that equals 10 grams of protein. So it's really high in protein. And again, you can put this on your salad, you can put it in your cereal, you can put it in your smoothie, you can put it in your green drink. Often I just throw a couple of tablespoons in my green drink and blend it. And it has a nutty flavor, if I haven't mentioned that. It's also really yummy. Some people love hemp and some people do not. I have a girlfriend who just can't handle hemp. I love hemp. So then we have chia seeds, and that is with the little scooper, the wooden scooper here with the sort of blackish seeds. They come in black and red and white chia seeds. And what I love about chia seeds, you can eat them raw. You can, again, put them in your green drink. You can put them in your smoothies, put them on your salads, put them on your dishes. But one of the great things about chia seeds is when you add any kind of liquid to it, it becomes like a gelish texture. So a lot of people make pudding from chia seeds. So if you have like, a juice or something that you've made and you want to add some chia seeds in there, then it absorbs that and it's really, really jelly. And if you blend it, it becomes like a real pudding. So a lot of people use that in desserts, the chia seeds. It's really, really great. A plant-based food that I use every single day is nutritional yeast. And what nutritional yeast is, it's the yellow sort of flaky thing at the bottom of my screen with the wooden spoon underneath. And nutritional yeast is a deactivated strain of yeast. Okay, so it's not like it's going to blow up like a bread or something in your body. It has like a cheesy flavor. I've been using, nutritional yeast for years on my popcorn, if I have popcorn, or my salads, because it has that cheesy flavor to it. I noticed when I went to Whole Foods, they just had a popcorn with nutritional yeast, and I just laughed and I thought, wow, I've been doing this for so long. It's great. It's again a CP, complete protein, and a quarter cup of nutritional yeast equals 9 grams of protein. So believe it or not, those little flakes punch a big, protein punch, so to speak. Now, here's something that I don't have on my screen because I actually forgot about it, is mushrooms. And Sean, I know you love mushrooms. So, shiitake or portobello, cremini, these are all fantastic mushrooms. And believe it or not, they contain 17 amino acids, which also includes the essential ones. So for a raw foodist, I use a portobello mushroom as my burger. So I put it in my dehydrator. I add all of my ingredients inside that, and I add nutritional yeast with cashews. I blend nutritional yeast with cashews, and that becomes like a sauce. And so I put that on top of my portobello mushroom in my dehydrator, and it is beyond yummy. There's lots of recipes that you can use with raw mushrooms, and these ones that I mentioned are all edible raw. But please check when you buy your mushrooms that you can in fact eat them raw. Now, do I eat mushrooms completely raw? No, I usually marinate them in a sauce, or I dehydrate them, or I put them in a bowl with my sauce, and I put them over a heating element, which is kind of interesting. So it becomes like a stir fry-ish texture. So that's how I use my mushrooms for my raw plant-based meals. Next one is legumes and beans. These are, I'm sure you've heard it, they're a great source of protein. And 30% of these beans and legumes are rich with amino acids. So what are some of the ones that I use? Peas, for example. You can buy frozen peas if it's not, seasonal to have fresh raw peas. Now, most people boil peas. Did you know that if you put peas in a dish of spring water and just leave it for a half an hour, they're soft and ready to eat? You don't need to cook it. Beans, you can have black beans or kidney beans. If you buy them out of the can, again, you don't need to cook them. And the kidney beans are right behind me, the black sort of oval beans. They look like kidneys, actually. I think that's why they're called kidney beans. And so, you don't need to cook these beans. You can just add them to your salad, eat them alone, have them in a dish. If they're in a can, they've probably already been cooked, so you don't need to heat them up and cook them again. You can even make a stew with uncooked, beans. It's amazing. So a lot of times I buy sprouted beans, and again, soaking is sort of our best friend as a raw foodist, and or sprouting them in my sprouter. So you can do that as well. Chickpeas, or called garbanzo beans, you can make a beautiful chickpea hummus, and that has 2 tablespoons is 7 grams of protein. So they're really dense. And you can also use lentils. You can sprout lentils. They're so easy. It takes about 3 days to sprout them if you have a sprouter. And believe it or not, peanuts are not nuts, they're legumes. So peanut butter, 2 tablespoons of peanut butter, are you ready for this? Is 14 grams of protein. So when I have my green drink, I always add a tablespoon or 2 to my green drink to get that extra protein. So can you imagine? You've got your green drink, you've got your spirulina, you've got protein, you've got peanut butter, you've got protein, you've got chia seeds, you've got protein, you've got hemp seeds, you've got protein. So these are all supplementations on top of the green drink. And these are supplementations that I put into my smoothies, my green drinks, my salads. And that's how I get, you know, the complete proteins that my body needs every single day. And I already mentioned sprouts, but I'll mention them again because they are superfoods. You can sprout beans and lentils and mung beans, and they are the highest form of food for your body because these are living foods. As you sprout them, the life force comes out of them. You know, it just springs out, and they're living, they're alive. And, you know, think about your body. It is a living, you know, live organism. That's what your body is. And so when you match living live food, that's why I eat raw food, with your living body, it just functions that much better. It's optimal for your body to match, you know, these live living foods with your live living body, as I always say. Don't feed your live living body with dead food, cooked food, fried food. It's all dead food. Bread is dead. You know, I mean, it's not good. So then we come to fruits. And, you know, fruits can contain up to 5% of protein. And, you know, fruits also include tomatoes and zucchinis and cucumbers. A lot of people think these are vegetables. These are actually fruits. So, and then we have leafy greens, which is, you know, something that I pretty much live on. There was someone in the city that created a t-shirt that said, "Kale is the new beef." And did you know that spinach and kale has per calorie more protein than beef? So it's pretty amazing. The negative part of that is you have to eat a lot of it. So like 2 cups of kale equals 4 grams of protein. So when you have to eat, you know, like a pound of green leafy vegetables, that may be a tough thing for you to do, especially if you are just starting with raw food, because your whole body is going to change. Your digestive system may not work optically because of the fact that you have clogged it with all this unhealthy food. So once you know, unclog, and I have many videos on that, like doing a water fast, then going into a juice, then going into a drink, then a smoothie, and then raw plant-based food. So it's a process. You have to clean those pipes out. They've been clogged up for a long, long time. So if your pipes are clogged and they're small, how are you going to get all the good stuff through? So cleaning out is really a priority if you really want to be serious about your health and your wellness and eating properly and elevating your food style. But getting back to the fastest way is to put these leafy greens in your high-speed blender. I use the Vitamix, and create your green drink. And that's where that's why after a green drink, you have so much energy. Your body has healthy nutrients, vitamins, minerals, and amino acids, which again turn into proteins. So you are like on a high after you've had this green drink. And that's why I've written a book called Green is the New Black, to help those people get off of their caffeine fix so they don't need an artificial stimulant in their body, and they can use a natural stimulant to, you know, create energy for their body. It's like the highest fuel you can put in your body. So next is basically nuts and seeds, and I have a lot of them on this picture. I love sunflower seeds, and I love Austrian pumpkin seeds, which are a dark green. These are super high in complete proteins, amino acids. They are fantastic. You can grind them, you can eat them whole, you can soak them, you can do so many things with your nuts and seeds. And last but not least are protein powders. And I buy several different kinds of raw plant-based protein powders, and I mix them together. And so that's how I have my smoothie in the evening, is another really big hit of protein powder. So I'm going to recap basically what I do. The Austrian pumpkin seeds are on the bottom, if you can see them, close to the yellow nutritional yeast. So that's what an Austrian pumpkin seed looks like. So I buy my seeds raw, organic, and then what I do is I soak them a little bit and then I dry them. So I have a big process for doing that, and I do have another video on why do I soak my nuts and seeds. So that's a whole different topic. But the last one that I said was the protein powders. So my day starts off with my green drink, where I put in, as I mentioned before, lots of, the hemp seeds, peanut butter, chia seeds if I feel like it. And then for lunch, I have my salad. Now, what I do is I create little packages for myself that ends up being around 50 grams of protein. So I put in hemp seeds, I put in nutritional yeast, I chop up pumpkin seeds and some sunflower seeds, and I add cashews, which are probably the best nut, but you have to wash, soak, and then dry your walnuts, just like all the nuts. I do soak and dry them as well. And these are starting off with raw and organic. So I think I've gone out for dinner many times with people, and I bring out my little baggie. Oh, sorry. And the other thing I add is I add spirulina, and I also add kelp, which is another sea vegetable. I don't have it on here, but I do like kelp. So I bring out this little baggie when I get my salad, and I just pour it on top. And everybody always has a comment. One of my girlfriends said, "What dirt are you putting on your salad?" Other people say, "Can I have some?" And I honestly think most people that have tried it love it. And so that's how I get my hit of extra protein on my salads. And then, of course, I end my day with my protein shake. So that's my very, very, very simple routine of how I eat and how these plant-based foods can really, really, do wonders to your body and just give you lots of energy and healing. And when you start eliminating, the garbage that you eat, and I call it garbage because it really is, it's garbage food. It doesn't do any value to your body whatsoever. You will just notice a difference in your skin and in your health and in your energy and your weight. And so many things improve by eating these high dense, complete protein, raw plant-based foods. So I'm going to turn it over to my audience. Sean, do you have any questions at all for me?
Yeah, I have two questions.
Okay.
When you do your green drink in the morning and stuff, what do you use for the liquid to liquefy the ingredients?
Oh, for my green drink, I'll just put gallery here so I can look at you. So for my green drink, I have a very, very bitter green drink because I put in a lot of dandelion and kale and spinach, and I put in a lot of powders, such as barley wheat and barley grass and green grasses. And so it's bitter. So I use coconut water. That's what I do to sweeten it. Spring water is probably the best water that you can drink because it's live and living water. Everything else has been, it's either filtered or chemicals have been added. Like tap water, we still have fluoride, in tap water, which is not great. So that's what I use, Sean, for my green drink. And for my smoothie, I don't need to add anything because my protein powder, I sneak in a chocolate flavor protein powder. So
that was my next.
It's already sweet.
That was my next question is why do you mix? You mentioned that you mix the powders. Is that just for flavoring?
No, I mix my powders for cross section because I haven't found a protein powder that has everything that I like in it. For example, to get a pea protein, first of all, it's very expensive. That's why they're not generally added to other protein powders. I like hemp. So to get the quality and quantity of hemp that I want, I have to buy a hemp protein powder. And then I like sprouted plant-based things. So I do buy a raw sprouted, and again, they only have a few ingredients of plant proteins. So therefore, to get a cross section of the different plant proteins that I want, I buy different protein, powders, and then I have little containers, and then I put like a tablespoon of each one. And then I add other things. As I said, I'm huge into supplementation, other things to that protein powder, for example, maca powder. And I also use tiger nut powder, very high in antioxidants. And so when I have that complete, I have a lid and I keep all these little containers. So in the morning, I'm not stressed out by, oh, I've got to start from scratch and put everything together. Yes, it's prepping. Raw food is all about prepping. But you know what I noticed? People that cook have to prep too. Like, think about a lasagna, you know, all the parts that you have to do. So when I sit there and all I have to do is put these protein powders together, and it takes me an hour, I look at it as I have 30 containers. So I look at that as that's my month done, and I do the same thing with my green powders. So I put all my green powders together. Another trick that I do, and I have videos on this as well, is when I go grocery shopping and I have all my greens, I have like 6 or 5 bags, like BPA free, big Ziploc bags. So I wash all my vegetables. Yeah, that's a pain for sure. I have different bowls on my counter and I just drain them. And then what I do is I take a kale, spinach, dandelion leaf, celery, cucumber, and I also add, real ginger and real turmeric. I don't use powders. And I throw that in the baggie, roll it up, put it in my fridge. So every morning I've got my green powders, put it in my Vitamix, and I've got my baggie of already pre-washed, ready to go vegetables. I pour that in there. I'm ready to go. Add coconut water, some frozen berries. You can, if you don't pick them yourself or buy them from the market, then you just put baggies in your fridge that you can buy from the grocery store.
Can you freeze those as well?
Which?
Can you freeze vegetables in those baggies like you're talking the turmeric?
I would not freeze the vegetables. You can freeze fruits.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I know that you want a little bit more convenience. So what I would do is I would just, go and get your leafy green vegetables and then wash them, spend some time washing them, rinsing them off, letting them drip dry in bowls, and then put them in your plastic bags and into your refrigerator. And when you start that, like everything is a routine, when you start doing that, when you go grocery shopping, when I go grocery shopping, I factor in 1 hour after I go grocery shopping and I prep every single thing that I bought. So when you open up my fridge, everything in there I can eat right away. I know so many people that put a bag of apples in the fridge. Now you want 1 apple, you've got to wash it, and then you don't even want to have one, or you have lettuce. I don't even want to deal with washing it now. But when you have everything ready, it is amazing. It's raw amazing, actually, because you just grab whatever you want. If I want an orange, it's already been washed. I've scrubbed it, I've dried it, everything.
When you buy if you do the lettuce in that, right? Because I love the idea. One of the things that was holding me back was the thought of how much am I going to have to do every day to prep. But I love the idea of what you're sharing. But how long if I did those bags with the lettuce in there and everything? What are they good for a week like that in the fridge?
Yep.
Okay.
Do five bags. Start with 5 bags. Monday through Friday. Just start it, and every day. And the other thing is, I add cilantro, which is a very it removes heavy metals. And for you and I who are city dwellers, it's really fantastic to get those heavy metals out of our bodies. So cilantro is going to be your best friend too. So I also add cilantro in there. You can even add, a squeeze of lemon. You will start to realize what it is you like, but the mindset has to be, bitter is better in the morning to start the detoxification, because what you want to do is you want to start getting rid of all of the stuff in your body.
Yeah, I
And
don't mind bitter. These, so on in your book that you were saying earlier,
green is the new
is it,
black.
yeah, are there recipes on there for
Yes,
those?
there are recipes in there at the very back. They're very simple because I wanted to start people off very simple. I'm going to do another video on exactly what I do for supplementation. Again, you know, if you want to get serious with your health, the health system's not helping you, and you have to take charge of your own health. And so you have to learn about your body, and you have to learn about food, and you have to learn about supplementation and why you're taking it. I had somebody, you know, message me yesterday, and he said, you know, my knees have taken a beating because of, you know, a sport. What supplement can I take? And it's like, it's not quite that easy. You know, you have to change your food style. You have to, you know, the reason your knee is inflamed is because you're eating meat. Meat causes inflammation. And your food style. Are you drinking? Are you smoking? You know, are you doing all of these things? So you really have to take charge of yourself. I think that's really important because nobody is applying for the job of being you except you. So
Wow,
that's what I would
great.
say. Yeah.
What's
So
where's
like,
the
sorry,
where's the download for the book? Which site do we go to?
VeRAWonica.com, VeRAWonica.com. Green is the new black. And again, I'm not cutting down coffee. I'm just saying be aware that caffeine is an addiction. And they made it like that. They put caffeine in energy drinks, they put caffeine in chocolate, they put caffeine in coffee. And the reason they do that is to keep you coming back. It's a multi-billion-dollar business. And the FDA has admitted that it is an addictive. I'll just leave it at that. It's addictive. So
Perfect.
yeah, so that's about it. I think we're almost out of time. Is there any other question that you have, Sean?
No, that's awesome. Thank you. That was really great.
I'm glad, and I hope that when you go grocery shopping, you buy organic vegetables. And I will just name the top ones. Okay, so kale, spinach, celery, cucumber, and dandelion leaves. Dandelion leaves are one of the most powerful plants on the planet. They grow everywhere. And I have a whole big thing about dandelions. It's one of my best friends. In the summer, pull my own dandelions. I pick them and they're wild, so they're not chemically sprayed. And I dry them. And then what I do is I put them in my Vitamix and I pulse them into powder. So in the winter, that's another supplement that I put in my green drink is my powdered dandelion leaves. And you can use the root and you can use the flower. The flower I use for tea. So I hope that you have learned something about plant-based proteins and amino acids and how you can really move forward, you know, in a healthy food style, right?
Absolutely. It was awesome. Thank you.
Have a
It was awesome. It was awesome.
I'm glad it was awesome. Have a amazing day, Sean. I'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye for now. Thank you for watching. I hope you got something out of this today about amino acids and plant-based proteins. And just follow me on Instagram or Facebook, watch my YouTube videos. And if you are really seriously ready to embrace your health, please contact me for mind food coaching. Have a amazing day.